Hello, good morning, happy Tuesday. I'm very excited to be on the mat this morning doing a couple fascia stretches. I hope that you join me. Grab a mat. Don't need a mat, you can still just go on the floor. This is going to be just a very simple fascia flow. It's not going to be too elaborate. The positions are fairly simple. They can be modified if you need to modify them for knees or hips. If you have any questions, please let me know via the comments or send me a personal message. And I feel great. This is just going to be about 15 minutes, 3 different fascia stretches with some variations along the way. Drinking my lovely coffee with my Laird creamer, powder creamer. It's just delicious and makes me happy. But so does fascia stretching. So let's get going. Grab a mat, get on the floor. If you need to have a small towel to roll up for cushion, we're gonna be on our knees to begin. I posted a video yesterday, so if you saw it, it is a weekly challenge. This weekly challenge is basically one fascia stretch to do every day, preferably in the morning. It takes just a few minutes. We're gonna start with that particular weekly challenge to begin this class today. And look back at the video, but basically what it is child's pose, but we're transforming it into a fascia stretch for the fascia in the chest and the lat area. When you fascia stretch, you add activation to a shortened muscle and movement in the opposite direction, rather than classical stretching where you lengthen till you feel the stretch and go further. What that looks like in child's pose. Grab a cushion under the knees if you need. If not, start with your knees apart, wider than hip width, and my feet are actually closer together. That's going to be my foundation. Engage your abdominals and core to support. Pull this up so you can see better. Coming down onto your hands. Make sure that you don't let that belly drop down to create any improper balances with that spine. So lift your rib cage up to keep that neutral spine. You want to shift your body weight forward over your hands to shorten the chest muscles, because that's where we're going to be fascia stretching. Adding resistance, press your hands straight down into the floor. So you're activating, creating more work than your body needs just to be in this position. And in the direction of resisting your hands down and underneath you, as if you want to slide them underneath towards your belly button. My knees naturally resist forward and I'm engaging my core. Once I have all those pieces together, keep your resistance in your arms going down and back. And start to pull your hips back towards your heels, trying as best as you can to keep your spine neutral and your neck neutral. Bring yourself back up without resistance, shift forward, add your resistance again. Once you have it, pull it back. And that really is all there is to it. It's just a matter of getting the equation down. Starting forward, you shorten the area you want to stretch, add activation to resist into that shortened muscle. Keep the resistance and pull the hips back. Letting your breath flow. I want a little extra range of motion, so if you need that too, bring your hands one step forward. Neutral spine, add your activation, pull your hips back. Letting your breath continuously flow. Oh, I feel that a lot more in the chest there. That added a little bit extra stretch to where I was tight. Forward, hands resist back, knees forward. Belly's lifted, chin tuck. Keep activating, breathing. God, I'm getting that even a little bit more into my shoulder blade area. One more time, shift forward, chin tuck, hands resist, pull back. Keep your resistance the entire time. Keep pulling back. Take a deep breath in and exhale back up. We're going to focus on the side of the body. Taking for me, this is my left, could be your right, one hand off the mat and one hand on the mat. And my hands are still just about this distance apart, so you don't want to be too wide. Keep them fairly close. I'm shifting my body weight over my hands. My resistance is going to be my hands in the opposite direction towards the far knee. Once you feel it, you'll feel it a little bit more on that arm that's on the mat. Pull your hips back in the opposite direction, and then you're going to roll this shoulder that's on the mat down into the floor, towards the floor as you continue to resist. We're getting a fascia stretch in and around this whole posterior aspect of your shoulder. Lift the core, chin tuck. Hands resist back towards the opposite knee. Your hips move in the opposite direction, and then halfway, start to roll that shoulder down, focusing a little bit extra in the resistance on the arm that's on the mat. Forward. Resist down and back in the diagonal. Pull your body back. Roll that shoulder down. Oh, this is such a good way to get that upper body stretched out, especially because we're all on devices so much more these days. Fascia stretching is really going to get you feeling a lot better than classical stretching. Our body needs it. If we're on the computer a lot, our fascia kind of almost cements us into that posture. We have to counter it by fascia stretching. Moving over to the other side. One hand on, one hand off. Body weight shifted over your arms. Resist your arms down and back towards that opposite knee. I like to repeat myself and continue cueing along the way because this is new for a lot of people. Those of you that have been joining me probably are getting a little bit of a feel for it, but those who are new, and I want people to keep coming back and learning more, I like to keep those reminders coming. I'm pushing a little bit extra down into the arm that's on the mat. Shift forward, resist the heels of the hands towards the opposite knee. Pull your body back in the opposite direction. About halfway, start to roll that shoulder down. I'm really, really pushing down hard into that hand. Good. One more time here. Resist the hands back. Pull back. Roll. Ooh, this shoulder's been tight lately. Awesome. One more variation in child's pose. Find any adjustments if you need to. We're going to target the area right between those shoulder blades. Who doesn't need that? Knees are apart, feet together. Drop down to your elbows. Slide your elbows and your forearms as close together as you possibly can. You can clasp your hands however is most comfortable. Chin tuck. Lift your belly and shift your body weight over your forearms. My nose is basically in line with my hands. Resist your forearms, all of them, down and back, like they want to slide right underneath your belly. Once you feel it, start to pull your hips back towards your heels. You're not going to go as far as you did with the first child's pose. Back, forward, start. Resist the forearms down and back. Keep it right between those shoulder blades. Take your mind and your awareness and focus right between those shoulder blades. Forward, belly's lifted, knees resist forward as help. Two more. Forward, resist those forearms back. Keep your tummy tight. Make this stretch a full body connected effort. One more time. Forearms resist back, knees forward, pull back. Whew. Awesome. Okay. Take a seat. Thank you for those of you joining me. And we're moving on to our piriformis. Your piriformis is a deep glute muscle. It's super, super important for so many different body movements and functions. And it gets very tight. And when it gets very tight, it can cause some issues. There are various ways to stretch the piriformis. I'm going to be sitting down on the floor with one leg stretched out in front of me. Let me grab a little pillow just for a demonstration. You can be sitting in a chair with your feet flat on the ground and crossing one ankle over, or laying down on your back with one ankle crossed over. I'm going to keep one leg straight, and I'm going to cross the ankle over the other thigh, just above the knee, not on it, but above it. If this is too difficult a position for you, you can even just keep your foot anywhere on the floor, so that just as long as you have that knee open. If you feel too much behind this knee, that's what that extra little pillow's for, and slide it underneath here. But that doesn't need to be there. If you need it, just know that that's a variation. Take a moment to sit evenly in your sits bones. Belly is engaged, pulled in, chin tuck. All that posture stuff really is key. Flex your foot that's crossed and the one that's touching the floor. I'm pressing my heel down as a base. That gets my nervous system all the way down to my foot. I'm going to press my ankle that's crossed down into my thigh and my knee is going to resist away from me. So the piriformis on the right is shortened right now. We're adding activation in that shortened muscle by pushing everything away. My hands will be my base to support the knee. I'm actually giving my glute a little extra squeeze. Once I really feel it in the right place, then use the strength of the arms to bring that knee up towards your chest. Take that first rep. Don't go too far. It's not about how far up you get. The benefit happens right here at the very beginning. Press that knee down. Press your ankle into your thigh. Use the strength of your arms to bring the knee up. You have power over your resistance, more or less. The most important thing is that you're contracting the muscle that's shortened, your piriformis, and you're adding resistance in the right direction. So there's always opposition happening. I'm continuously resisting in my glute, my knee away, and my arms overpower. So the key with that is that I'm strengthening my arms as I'm fascia stretching my piriformis. So many benefits here. Good. Your breath is just casually moving in and out. We're going to do it again. This time, press your ankle a little bit more into your thigh and see how that changes your stretch. Keep pressing it down. I can tell I need this. If you're sitting a lot more these days because you're at your home desk, this is a really, really, really good stretch to do often. Maybe this will be my weekly challenge next week. One more time, press it down. I didn't count how many reps. I'm just kind of going with what feels good today. You can do more or less, whatever feels good. The opposite stretch. So we just stretched the glute, kind of the lateral aspects of the hamstring a little bit. Now to stretch the inside or adductors, the rule is you shorten the muscle you want to stretch or the area. So I'm going to bring my knee up towards my chest. I'm going to take my hands on the inside of my knee. This position sometimes can be a little bit difficult to hold, so just do your best. Tighten your tummy. Resist your knee in towards your chest. Once you feel it, kind of in the hip area, hip flexors a little bit, inner thighs, then you're going to use the strength of your arms to push the knee down. Knee comes up, press up. I get a lot more core work on this one because I'm trying really hard to stay straight. Feel free to sit against a couch or a wall when you're doing some of these stretches if that's more comfortable for you. I'm not able to get as much force because my inner thighs are longer, smaller muscles than my glute, piriformis area, but that's okay. As long as you're shortening the area, you're adding that resistance and then the movement. One more time. Press it up. Use the strength of your arms to push down. Good. Switching sides. Move that pillow or towel underneath the other knee, or you can have your leg just straight on the floor too. That's fine. Cross the other ankle over the thigh above the knee. Both feet are flexed. Press that heel down into the floor so that nervous system gets the message that this is your foundation leg. Just take note to where your turnout is. If you're starting here and that's as far as your knee can go, that's where you start, and that's just fine. Everyone is different with this. Level hip bones, belly in, chin tuck. Hands go to the outside of the knee. Press your ankle down into your thigh and your knee away from you. Once you feel it in the glute of the leg that's crossed over, then you have it in the right place. Keep the resistance going away from you. Use the strength of the arms to bring the knee towards the chest. Oh, this feels so good. I don't know why I forget to do these some days. There's endless opportunities for fascia stretching, and I love to demonstrate all of them, but there are a few that feel just extra good, and that's probably different for everyone as well. I have a little snap of muscle or tissue or tendon over the surface of my pelvis somewhere, and that's showing me that I have a muscle, probably my piriformis, that's really, really dense. And if it's dense, it's not working optimally, and it can cause aches and pains in your body. Fascia stretching, there's a lot of research out there now, which is lovely. really is a way to reverse the age of your muscles. I know that sounds kind of bold and crazy to say. Let's do 2 more here. Press your ankle in a little bit more. Feel the difference there. Knee presses away. But it does. When you clear out some of this dense fascia that's been there for a really long time, or scar tissue, your muscles function so much better, and you didn't even know that you had the opportunity to use them in such an effective way. Reversing it, we're going back to our inner thighs. Hips squared, make sure you didn't come out of your neutral spine. Activate your support leg. Bring your knee up towards your chest. Resist your knee in towards your chest, into the hands. This puts kind of hooking into the leg for a little extra support. Once you feel in your inner thighs, use the strength of your arms to push the knee open. In, little extra core work here, tighten your tummy, try to keep that back up straight. You can come forward as you're pressing down to get a little more leverage, but just don't round over. Let's do 2 more, knee up, resist in, feel your inner thighs. 1 more, knee up, press in. Excellent, and release. Uncross. Give those legs a little shake. And move around a little bit. As I move around, I feel different parts of my body that are a little achy. I'm like, oh, I should fascia stretch that. And I'll get to it. We're gonna finish today with standing hamstrings. Hamstrings are key for us all. It's really important that we have flexible quads and hip flexors, but if you're just out and about, it's very easy to just throw in a quick standing hamstring stretch, especially if you're going for a lot of walks these days and you want to do a little extra stretching before you get out on your walk to feel good. Classical stretching, you would do something like this. You'd bend over, touch your toes, you bring your foot up to something and reach. So we're not going to do that. We're going to fascia stretch the hamstrings, which is much safer, way more effective. Starting first by taking 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Notice that my toes are facing directly forward in the same direction. Posture, chin tuck, shoulder set, tummy tight. Both my legs are straight but not locked out. We're going to add a few variations along the way with standing hamstrings so you can try them and see what feels best for you. First, lift your toes up in the front. We're stretching the hamstring in the leg that's in front to begin, not the one that's behind. Press your front heel down and back into the floor like you're sliding your foot straight back. That's not going to happen. It's going to stay locked down in place. The standing leg is your base leg. You're basically doing a unilateral squat with your base leg, just making sure the knee doesn't come forward. Heel presses down and back. Once you feel it in your hamstring, you move in the opposite direction. Engage the core, pull the hips back, keep that micro bend in that front knee. Hips go away from your heel. You might jimmy your pelvis in different positions, but try to stay. Sorry, excuse me. Nature of live videos. Press that heel down and back, pull your hips back. Good. Scoot forward in my frame a little bit more. Heel down and back. Feel it in the back of the thighs. Keep engaging your core. Draw your hips back. This really gets those attachments of your hamstring muscles on your butt bone or your ischiotubosity, and it's an area that really only ever gets overstretched. This is a really good way to just kind of massage through this dense tissue and these attachments. A lot of people have scar tissue in and around their butt bone from just overuse, injury, wear and tear through life. So this can be pretty intense. If you're feeling this really more in the butt, you probably have a little scar tissue or some fascia that's really tight. And this is great to do because it's clearing it away. Hips go back, keep that foot pressed down. Let's add our first variation. Flatten your foot. So everything's the same. Rather than having your toes up, you just keep your full foot down. Imagine that you're pushing into the pad of the big toe, the pad of the pinky toe, and your heel as even as you can. Resist your front foot down and back. Once you have it in the back of your hamstring, pull back. Totally changes for me. Let me know if it does for you too. I'm feeling it a little bit more on the outside lateral hamstrings because I'm forcing my pinky down a little bit more on this one. Let's do 2 more. Front foot presses down and back, pull back. Back up, last one. Front foot down and back, keep engaging, pull it back. Oh, that feels so good. We're gonna add one more variation to this side before we move on. So right now I'm about hip width apart with my feet. I'm gonna take my foot to the inside edge of the mat. I'm gonna bring my toes up just because I wanna bring them up. You can keep them down. Your resistance not only is down and back, but it's a little bit on the diagonal towards the other foot, getting a little bit more resistance in that medial hamstring. Down and back. Once you have it, keep it and bring your hips back primarily, but maybe off to the side, away from the ankle. And back up without resistance. Press the heel down and back on the diagonal. Pull your hips a little bit off to the back. Opposite diagonal. 2 more. Heel down and back. Tummy's tight. Pull back, pull back, pull back. 1 more time. Breath is moving. I can feel a lot of changes happening for me on this side. And release. Shake it out. Before you move to the other side, just stand for a moment and notice difference in the leg that you just stretched, the hamstring you just stretched, compared to the one that you haven't yet. Some description that people will come up with sometimes is that I feel tingling down the leg, I feel some kind of easy flow, it feels more free, it feels lighter, more supple. Those are some descriptors. Everyone's, again, is different because our bodies are so different. Moving on to the other side, 1 foot front, 1 foot back. Check in hips facing forward, knees forward, toes forward, shoulders, chin tuck. First, lift the toes up. Keep a micro bend in both your knees. Press the front heel down and back to activate the hamstring now on the other side. Once you feel it in that hamstring, you're going to pull the hips straight back and down like a unilateral squat on your standing leg. Look at that standing leg. Make sure the knee's not too far forward. If your hips are going back, it should be in an okay position. Press down and back. Pull back. This side feels 100% different than my other side, and that's just the nature of the body. Typically, when you do one side and then the other, they do feel a little bit different, and that's just kind of telling you something. It's good education. Pull the hips back. 1 more at the heel. Down, toes up, pull back. I hear child coming. And back up. Put your foot down. Now get all 3 points in your foot. Pat of the big toe, pat of the pinky toe, and heel.
Dad?
I don't know. He must be hiding. You better go look for him unless you want to join the class.
I can't find him.
Oh, well, you gotta. I didn't see him come upstairs, but I think he's downstairs. Wanna go look?
Is he in the ashes?
I think so. I think go check in there.
Okay.
Okay, bye. Pat of the big toe, pinky toe, and heel. The whole foot presses down and back. That bottom back foot raises forward just for your base and foundation. Hips pull straight back. Keep pulling the hips back. Back up. Press back. We'll do 2 more with the foot down. We're almost through this class today. Thanks for those of you joining me. I hope this is feeling good. 1 more time. Up. Press down and back with the front. Pull the hips back and down. Adding that last variation, scoot that foot to the inside edge of the mat. Toes up or down. Resist that front heel down and back towards the diagonal. Feeling a little bit more on the inner thigh or medial hamstring. Make any micro adjustments you need. Tighten your tummy. Pull the hips back, opposite direction. Up, resist down and back, pull back. Let your breath flow. Keep your tummy tight. Support your movements. 2 more. Micro bend in the knee. Make sure you're not locked out. Okay, 1 more time. Down and back. Good. And back up, stand. Feet hip width apart. Ground down. Think of your footprint in the sand with both of your feet. find this upper body posture. For me, I feel like it's much easier to achieve a posture where I'm a little open across the chest, shoulder blades gliding down. From doing the child's pose resistance stretch, I feel more even body weight distribution in both my legs, always trying to achieve 50% in both legs, and the pad of the big toe, pinky toe, and heel, even in both feet. When you have that, your nervous system has the opportunity to get down all the way to the feet, but also when you have that evenness, your muscles will activate a little bit more balanced than if you were too tight in one area. Arms at your side, palms forward. Settle into that posture. Inhale, arms up. Hands to prayer. Exhale. Thumbs to the sternum. Inhale. And exhale. Open mountain pose. Thanks so much for joining me on this awesome, warm Tuesday. I'm going to save this to my news feed. So if you felt this felt really good to you and you have someone that's feeling kind of achy that you know is sitting at a computer a lot, share this with them. Send them to my news feed or share the video with them. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and I will be back with some more videos and fun fascia talk soon. Bye.